Kotaku has finally closed. Well, not Kotaku proper. Kotaku Australia has finally shuttered their doors, and one of the big players in the games media is now officially on death's door because, as Grums points out, Kotaku Australia closing may nuke much of the main website. Kotaku may lose most of their archived content and tons of images as recent as 2019 due to closing in Australia. Former Kotaku reporter Luke Plunkett reveals that Kotaku Australia was the only place where older articles were stored, and for some reasons, many images. Yeah, that's very interesting. Okay. So this isn't necessarily like IGN that has different branches around the world, like IGN Germany, Japan, Zimbabwe. Okay, like if one of those affiliate branches closes down, that means that they are potentially focusing on the mothership a little bit more. But as for Kotaku, it was more equitably distributed, as I'm sure they probably want to do. This is just simply a herald for Kotaku proper being shut down by the end of the year. Okay, we all kind of thought that once the whole Alyssa Mercante ship finally sails, Kotaku's going to close down because they're looking right now for full-time editor-in-chief for like the 6th time in as many months. They had to lead a basic staff revolt because they were going to move away from cultural commentary to just simply writing guides, which is one of the only thing that attracts viewership to any of these sites anymore. And all 6 remaining people at Kotaku proper successfully fought back. It's just now confirmation that time's a ticking, and it doesn't look good. Kotaku Australia will be shut down as part of a major cost-cutting effort from its parent company, Pedestrian Group. Oh yeah, and another reason why Kotaku's on a shot clock itself is because Geo Media, its parent company, has sold off, the AV Club, Deadspin, so many other affiliates as well, and it's just a small cabal of media hack outlets that are still under that umbrella, so it's really only a matter of time before Kotaku ultimately closes. I would imagine they would have been a part of that previous fire sale, but at this point in time, it's such a damaged brand that nobody would want it, okay, even if it was thrown in with the AV Club. As reported by Sydney Morning Herald, Pedestrian Group is slashing at least 40 jobs and ending its licensing deals to publish third-party brands including Vice, Refinery 29, Gizmodo, Lifehacker, and Kotaku in coming months. The outlet adds, and the titles are no longer published. Will no longer be published in Australia, with the majority of their staff will be let go. B&T also reports a Pedestrian Group CEO, Matt Rowley, revealed the licensing deals were scrapped because it faced financial headwinds. So yeah, we were trying to make money, but we couldn't hold up our end of the bargain, so oopsie daisy, we had to break some of those commitments. He added, given these factors, we've made the tough decision to focus on our wholly owned pedestrian brands, where we control the strategy, the content, the products, the sales, and the outcome. The entire business. Yep, this means that we will transition out of the current brand licenses, which will reposition our businesses for the future. So yeah, the people that we can tell to, hey, get out of all of that woke peddling, stop with all of this culture war crap and focus on your job. If we can just go ahead and do that, you'll be great. You'll be set up for life. But Kotaku ain't about to play that stuff. This will have an impact on roles within the group, and I appreciate the uncertainty this change creates. So we will be in contact immediately with those people, wherever possible. We'll look for opportunities for redeployment and continue to work with everyone over the coming days. Blah, blah, blah. Thank you, and best of luck in your future endeavors, right? Kotaku Australia managing editor Dave Smith confirmed the site will be shut down. He wrote on X, folks, I have some sad news to share. Today, the story of Kotaku Australia comes to a sad and abrupt end. It has been one of my great joys in my life to wake up every day and run a site that I still love with all my heart. I'm glad somebody at least enjoys it. To all my comrades at Pedestrian Group, not some commie crap, I love you, gay. I have never worked with better or more talented whatever, dude. I don't care. After thanking a number of colleagues, you revealed that the website was the second highest read site on the group after PTV. Yeah, and then you ended up exposing yourself as being redundant, and then, of course, closed like that. He then concluded that he would take a break. Yes, of course, I will be taking a break for a bit now, but now that has been a pleasure and an honor to serve you. But as for his other comrades under the Kotaku banner, well, they aren't necessarily taking the news all that well, because when you talk about Kotaku, what's the first name that comes to mind, especially in 2024? You betcha, Alyssa Mercante lashes out after Kotaku Australia shut down. Oh, it's so nice. Now you might actually have to fight for some food now. I wonder if Bum Fights is still around, okay? Geo Media sell off that brand. As reported by Sydney Morning Herald, Pedestrian Group is slashing 40 jobs. Yes, Vice, Refinery 29, Gizmodo, Lifehacker, and Kotaku in coming months. Closing down everything that they couldn't find buyers for, obviously. Mercante reacted to the news in a couple of threads posted to X, where she wrote, sending solidarity and love to the amazing writers at Kotaku Australia and all the other sites affected. Now let's see how I can make this all about me. You are all stars and deserved better. Capitalism is cruel. Holy shit. Your work remains, always. Well, actually not, because the site's going to be closed down and all of that stuff is going to be lost to whatever archiver even has single care in the world to spend any time making sure that the salient words of Kotaku are preserved for future generations. She continued, the internet and the rats infesting it are even crueler, but a reminder. Wow, I agree, but from a different perspective, Alyssa. Cheering for good people losing their jobs while men get rich off their labor is morally bankrupt, and I'm sure you're going to go ahead and link your OF account so that you could go ahead and profit off of other rich men. Okay. Mercante then concluded, and by the way, I hate that I even have to say this, but let's stop reactionary a ride before it gains speed. We are not affiliated with Kotaku AU. We just share the same name. We don't share anything except a love for games. A love for games. This is the bitch who wrote the review about the Shadow of the Erd Tree and literally made it all about her personal 9/11 on social media. Like, just stop it. And good reporting. I can't imagine, okay, I can't imagine being somebody that has that little self-awareness. You think that you have a love for games and good reporting? Bitch, you don't talk about any of that shit on your social media. And now that your 15 minutes of fame is clearly up, like, look at those numbers. You ain't doing nothing. Unless you're bitching about one of those, evil men on the internet that just constantly focus on me and just, are misogynists and are racists and bigots. Nobody cares what you have to say. You're irrelevant, okay? And the next time we're going to be hearing about you is when you're going to have to promote all the good work you do on pay-to-play websites. Reddit is full of lies, something Mercante is known for. Cheering for an outlet that spreads woke ideology to be shut down is not immoral. In fact, it's a good thing. Woke ideology is evil. Bishop Barron explained, yes, and jealous news, all that crap. He added, yes, finally wokeism employs divisive, aggressive strategies and the accusations that are contrary to the gospel. Yes, yes, yes. For as much as I would love to just go ahead and say, well, see, in this verse of the Bible, it says, if Kotaku Australia is ever shut down, thou shalt revel in the heathen's failure. I don't quite think, maybe it's in one of the books closer to the back, but we can just simply go to more contemporary examples of Alyssa Mercante cheering on other people getting canceled, cheering on other people's livelihoods potentially being ruined. At her own hands. So her bad tactics. Interesting. Mercante had no problem celebrating Smash GT's website getting shut down. She posted on X at the end of May after Wix took down the site that the Smash GT ultimately ended up getting back. Oops, website not detected. That's a different reference that you're trying to make to Cabrutus, but I wouldn't necessarily ask her to keep anything straight. It's not like she's a journalist. Huge shout out to Nick Calandra, yeah, that hack, who reached out to Wix about the site and consistently followed up. Yeah, harassed, okay. There's also something else, okay, especially when it comes to games, the games industry in general, where sit down, have a coffee with these people, and if you don't get what you want, you could terrify them. Kind of seems like what Nick Calandra was doing by consistently following up. Clearly, they agree that he engaged in targeted harassment by, simply putting up names in the games industry that have connections to Kotaku. Heaven forbid publicly available information can get aggregated. She added, this is a great precedent and a sign that these are people and places on the internet who know targeted harassment, cyberbullying when they see it. And the website went up within, 24 hours? On top of, as for her claim that Kotaku Australia is not associated with Kotaku, this is clearly a lie as well. You don't say. Pedestrian Group was clearly licensing the name of Kotaku to use in Australia and was thus associating itself with Kotaku. Yeah, obviously. Like saying Coca-Cola has no affiliation with Coke Zero. Like, stop it. On top of that, Kotaku was clearly syndicating articles on Kotaku Australia, as seen with Ethan Agax article, it's time to jump into one of the longest running Japanese RPG series out there, being published on Kotaku and Kotaku Australia. Yeah, and them also, you know, as we know from Grums, somebody else who Alyssa Mercante is a huge fan of, points out that, yeah, the Australia affiliate was being used as a repository of old and archived material. So, yeah, interesting. Following this thread of lies, Mercante then lashed out, well, of course, man, because she's a perpetual outrage whore. Like, what are we doing here? You have no idea what journalism is. Well, neither do you, so I guess we're on equal footing here. Your website looks like they're from 2001. They're riddled with typos. You use yourselves as a source for stories. Well, yeah, this is pot, kettle, black. You have an internet connection and a webcam, and you think that you're something worthy to say. You don't? What? I could set my Nana up with a Razer Kaio and... oh, in her care home, and she'd make coherent shit. I actually don't think you could, because I don't imagine you're probably on speaking terms with any of your family members. She added in a subsequent post, it's a shame that private equity and Google have gutted legacy media sites, and the stupidest, cruelest people in the world are rushing in to fill the gaps. All I can literally add to that is, hold up a mirror, you dumb bint. Stupidest, cruelest people in the world. People celebrating the closure of Kotaku Australia, or just people going, yeah, guess what? You get woke, you go broke. Big shock on that one, okay? It's a day that ends in Y, so of course that's going to be heralded. When it comes to the stupidest, cruelest people, I would say that's you, because isn't that the person? Aren't you the type to go ahead and purposefully go after people's websites, their livelihoods, to try to get them fired from their job, their websites removed? I would say that's far more cruel. I would say that's also stupid for not understanding terms of service and to just simply try to get companies to do a knee-jerk reaction to your overwhelming hissy fit by throwing out your credentials. No, there will also come a time, because yes, private equity and Google have allowed people to question the narrative of the trusted institutions that we have to go ahead and glom ourselves onto because we're not talented enough and nobody cares what we have to say enough that we can go ahead and spread our own wings because, well, you spread other things for money in order to sustain ourselves. Trust me, man, when Kotaku proper does close down by the end of the year, Alyssa will once again, you know, she'll re-up a couple of minutes under 15 minutes of fame clock, but then 2025 will roll around and she'll be just about as relevant as Frosk is, because that's who she's modeled her career after, and that's where she's ultimately going to end up, resigned to the dustbins of internet history. And frankly, couldn't come soon enough, this malicious cow. So with all that said, thank you all very much for the gift of your time. I've been Don Consuelo. I want you to follow your gut and get after it. Take care, everyone.